Again, I said this earlier, I thought there was a lot to work with for the defense until the defendant took the stand. Then I think it sort of vitiated any movement they had made or any ball movement they had made in this case in terms of swinging any juror in their direction.
Yeah, I think we were talking about this last time we were on the show, Michael, and this decision to take the stand, which, of course, as an attorney, you can advise your client not to take the stand. And to, in most cases, you're saying the government has to prove its case beyond a reasonable doubt. And I go back to my first boss that trained me as a trial lawyer, as a prosecutor, who said to me, jurors love to convict from the mouth of the defendant. If there's a number one way, and if you can get that defendant to admit that they lied or show that they lied and they lose their credibility, it's brutal and devastating. And he did get caught in two areas, including the one that your reporter just mentioned, but also that this affair was a casual affair, and yet they're bringing out evidence that they were planning the names of their children and that it was far deeper than what the defendant is saying. So if that jury, I think that there was a lot to work with. The prosecutor's admission that there's not digital forensic evidence to support who's the one who did the catfishing. Brutal for the prosecution, but did he make up the difference in testifying and lying for the prosecution? This is a close one to me.
Yeah, I don't know if it's a close one. I thought it was close after that digital forensic testimony. Their expert, I thought, raised some real questions. And I think, and Kelly Craft even said it, some of the jurors were taking notes. They were really sort of clued in on his testimony because it's very sort of precise. I imagine they're going through some of those records now. And there were suggestions that he was kind of this mastermind who had made accounted for some of that stuff. But I thought at that point, right when he was done, there was maybe opportunity for one or two jurors to say, hey, wait a minute, I'm not ready to convict this guy.
Yeah, so I think you're saying that maybe him taking the stand actually was to his detriment. I think I'm getting that feeling, and that's how I felt after the state's case. I felt that there were holes, and this is the question that we'll never have answered. I have tried cases as a prosecutor where I'm like, why did the defendant take the stand? It was literally the worst move they could make, and I blew the defendant apart, and that's the reason why they got convicted. And in a lot of those cases, the lawyer advised against the defendant taking the stand, but the defendant, many of them, high-end, I hate to say it, this is how I see life, the realities of life, but smart, well-educated, type A, in control people feel that they can get over. They're used to being in control. And so they get on that stand a little more chesty than they should be and get beat up. I think that's what kind of happened here.